Let me ask you something. How many good ideas have you lost this week? Not because they were bad, but because you had them at the wrong moment. In the car, in the shower, on a walk with the dog. You grab your phone, you talk into the microphone, and you feel clever for about 10 seconds. And then that voice note drops into an app where you never open it up again. It just sits there, dying quietly, next to 40 other similar ideas or notes that also never get opened up again. That's what happened to me, and it genuinely drove me mad. So I did something about it. I built myself a small machine. Basically just 2 small automations. Just listen to my voice, decide with the help of AI if this is an idea, a task, or simply a journal entry, and then they file it away right into my Life OS. All on their own, no typing. And no tidying it up all on Sunday night. Today, I'm going to show you exactly how this works, including the one part where I got completely stuck for an hour, so that you don't have to. Let's open it up. Okay, so here's the whole thing in one look. And don't panic, it's actually smaller than it seems. It's 2 workflows and each one has a specific job. The first one up here is actually the collector. Its only job is to go out, connect to the API and find my new recordings and bring them home. The second one down here is actually the brain. It takes those notes and actually decides what to do with each one of them. Now you might be asking, why 2? Why not just build one big workflow that does the whole thing in one big chain? Well, I tried that first and honestly, it was a nightmare. When something broke, I couldn't exactly tell which part broke. But even worse, if I wanted to rerun something, for example on notes I'd already covered, I actually couldn't. The whole thing was welded together in one lump. So I split it. Collecting is one job, thinking is a separate job. 2 small workflows you can understand will always beat one big workflow you're afraid to touch. Hold on to that principle, it has saved me so much more time than you can ever imagine. Let's start with the collector. This workflow runs entirely by itself every 10 minutes, 24/7. I never press or click a button. When it fires, the first thing it does, it basically connects to the Pocket API and says, hey, give me the list of my recordings. Now, some of these recordings are still being processed on Pocket's side. The transcript isn't ready yet. So I don't want these, and that's why I filtered them out here with a filter for getting only the ones with the status completed. And next, we hit probably the most important node in this whole workflow. And it's the exact one that beginners often forget. Before I save anything, I usually ask one question. Have I already seen this node before? I take the recordings ID and simply ask my table, does this row already exist? Is it already in here? If it is, I stop. I don't import it. I do nothing with it. I throw it away. Because without that one little check every 10 minutes, this workflow would basically get all of my existing nodes and add them right away as duplicates to my existing tables. And of course, this is not something I want. It would grab the same 50 nodes again and again and again and again, reprocessing anything, running up my AI bill high, and creating duplicates all over the place. That one, does this already exist? That is the check, the thing that makes the whole system safe to run on a timer in the first place. Only genuinely new nodes get past it. And for those who do, I go and fetch the full transcript here and I drop it into a table on my own server, where the second workflow can pick it up later. Now the brain, the second workflow. It wakes up on its own timer too, just a few minutes after the collector, so there's always a fresh batch waiting for it. The first thing it does is it grabs basically every node I haven't dealt with yet. So here in this node, I just look into my recordings table and look for the status not equal to categorized. So categorized is what will be assigned at the very end of this workflow. So if it is not categorized, it means this node has been caught, but it's not yet transcripted and categorized. For each node, it hands the transcript to an AI, and it asks one single, very simple question. What is this? Is it an idea? Is it a task? Or is it a journal entry, just me thinking out loud? And I don't let the AI ramble here. That's important. I give it a very tight instruction. I define in plain terms exactly what counts as a journal, what counts as an idea, or what counts as a task. And then I tell it answer with one word. Lowercase, nothing else. No explanation, no punctuation. Just the word. Why so strict? Because that one word is actually a switch. Watch, the node comes in, the AI says task, and the workflow sends it right down the task path. If it had come back with idea, it would go down the idea path instead, like here. One word in, three possible directions out. That single word is the fork the entire system turns on. And this whole part here is really where I want to save you an hour of your life, because this is precisely where I lost mine, so to say. So the AI has told me this particular node is a task. Great. But the word task alone is basically useless for me. What I actually need to do is to pull real actionable information out of this. Structured information out of that messy spoken transcript. A proper title, a due date, a priority. So I can send it to my database as a clean and usable row. And here's the trap I fell into. When you go hunting for the AI to do that in your N8N workflow, there is not that one obvious choice. You'll get several and they all sound like they might be good at this job. There is an AI agent node, there is a basic LLM chain node, there is a plain language model node sitting right there as well. I generally went round in circles, wiring up the agent, fighting with it, and quietly wondering why something that seemed to be so simple became such an overkill. So let me just hand you the answer I wish someone had handed me. I did not need the agent. An agent is for when you need the AI to make decisions and then choose some or one of the available tools to it. Search the web, call another API, decide what to do next to its own. That is not what this is. This is that simple. Here is a transcription. Give me make my data in a structured, predefined shape. And exactly for that task, the basic LLM chain is the right tool. So let me just quickly show you my prompts. Here is a very simple user prompt where basically the transcript and today's date goes in. And here is my system prompt, also not overly complicated, but I have a few rules in here and also the output shape it should provide. But it proved that this is not good enough, and therefore I also activated this little checkbox here saying require specific output format, which activates another port in N8N, this output parser port, you can see here. And then I just basically created or added a structured output parser. And here is my JSON, basically my JSON structure that I expect with all the required metadata. And very importantly, you need to set this top drop down to define using JSON schema. And this ensures that the data comes out in the format I exactly expect it to come out. The chain runs my prompt against the transcript, and the parser forces the answer exactly into the structure that I want from it. These fields, these types, every single time, no surprises. Look at the prompt itself. I tell it to keep my own words, not to invent anything that isn't there, to turn a vague Friday into a real calendar date, and crucially, if a detail simply isn't in the note, to leave it blank rather than making something up. And out the other side, I get exactly and precisely these fields. It's genuinely simple once you know, but nobody tells you that up front, and that hour of going in circles exactly is what I'm landing back or handing back to you right now. Okay, so let's watch the whole thing actually pay off. I'm going to talk a random node into my Pocket device, and then we'll see how it processes. Okay, quick note to myself. I need to email the accountant about the Q3 VAT filing before it's too late. It's due around the 20th, I think, but I should double check the exact deadline first. This one's kind of important, and I don't want to end up with something like a late penalty. So the voice note or the transcription is already in the database. Let's just run this node by node. We just execute this here now manually, and you already see here is the transcript of the node. Now I think this is a task, so if I run this classifier, it should basically return task here. If you just look, yeah, that's right. We see here at the bottom task. So now let's see what the switch node does. It adds the task button, and now what we do here is we use this AI extraction for tasks. So let's just quickly run it on exactly that task. And if we now look, we have a title, email, the accountant about the VAT filing. Here is the notes. Next action. The due date is the 20th of July, just as per the transcription. And you also see the priority high. So now I just add this entry here into my database. And now that it has been categorized, it also updates the overall table and just says, okay, this is not longer only extracted, but now categorized. And once again, this is the status that makes sure that I don't reprocess this over and over again every 10 minutes. So if you now look here, here is my task in my live OS. Here is the task description, and this now gets updated in the background as well. And now you see here my basic task summary in my own vibe-coded live OS system that I look into every single day. Now, one honest confession, because I'm not going to sit here and pretend everything is perfect. The journal part is not done yet. Ideas and tasks are done. The journal part is not yet done. The journal side, that's the part that's meant to capture the reflective, thinking out loud notes that one is still sitting on my own to-do list. So that's genuinely the next thing I'm building, but even half built. The notes I used to lose forever are now quietly sorting themselves while I get on with my actual day, all on a fully automated basis once I stop my recording on my Pocket device. So there you have it. A randomly rambled voice note turned into structured, genuinely usable data completely on its own. Two small workflows, one to collect, one to think. Now, I'm actually curious about you. If you capture voice notes with whatever device, and I assume you do this kind of thing, what would you want yours sorted into? Ideas and tasks and journals just like mine? Or something completely different doing it the way your brain works? Tell me down in the comments, because genuinely that's actually what I look into and what I probably will build next. And if you want to see me actually finish the journal part and clean this whole thing up properly, subscribe and I'll walk you clearly through it. Right? Then see you in the next one.